Welcome to Two Guys and Mike podcast. I'm your host, Jason Thompson, and the most fabulous and exalted one.
Exalted Michael Vincent. Wow, exalted. I'm moving up that ladder.
Yes, we come to you live, well, actually pre-recorded, from an undisclosed location in upstate New York, and we thank you for being with us. You could be anywhere you choose to be, and you choose to be with us. Please subscribe to our channel, like the videos, and without further ado, we will start our little convo about, Mike, how do you feel that the Trump verdict, affected his poll numbers? Any ideas? What are your thoughts?
Well, what it did is it helped him raise some more money.
Did you see that? $38 million in like a 24-hour span?
Yep. That was absolutely crazy. The more the libs try to damage him, the stronger they make him.
That is definitely what is happening out there. New poll numbers came out actually this week, and in some of the battleground states like New Mexico, Trump actually narrowed his Biden's lead by less than 7%.
Wow. Okay.
The big one I thought, which was indicative of kind of a bellwether for me, I know that everybody else thinks it's different, but it's Michigan. Michigan, to me, is a strong union state, big Democrat state, and yet Trump, believe it or not, as of June 17th, is leading that state by a 0.5 percentage point.
That's awesome.
So
I think a lot of that backfired, though, and they thought they were going to keep him in court. And what they ended up doing is he decided to make the best of it and went out into the city, and he started talking with all these union workers, visiting job sites, and he just got stronger and stronger with them.
I think New York City is going to be a very hard sell for Democrats right now.
Oh, yeah.
With the immigration and the fact that they weaponized the legal system, the Democrats did, I think, it just made a lot of people realize that the system's rigged.
Oh, how can you not see that?
Well, you and I, it's easy for us.
Yes.
There are certain people that obviously think otherwise.
Denial.
So, actually, one of our guests just showed up.
I just heard a door.
I did.
Oh, come on in, Walter.
Walter, come on in, Mr. Man. That's all right. Come on in. Wow. Walter Arrow decided to join the podcast today. Have a seat, put your headphones on, and we'll introduce you, buddy. This is an impromptu arrival. Cool. Number 47. Is your mic on here? On. There you go. Put on your headsets.
I'm playing games.
So I did it on purpose because I wanted to see him struggle when he got here.
Job well done.
Yes.
Yeah, look at that.
I'll put the fuzzy penis right in front of your mouth.
Yeah, you know.
What's up, Walter? Welcome to the podcast, Mr. Man.
Yeah, what's going on?
Hanging in.
Yeah.
Talk about coming into the fire right off the get-go.
Yeah, what are you guys all talking about?
We were, actually first, let's rewind a little bit. This is Walter Cook, good friend of mine and good friend of Mike's, good friend of the show's. He's a driver for the number 47 Cook Motorsports Sportsman Dirt Modified. And tell us a little bit about yourself there, buddy.
Well, you know, we've been friends for what, probably 16 years probably now. And,
yeah.
Done a lot of good stuff, and you know, turned 40 this year. I know I'm not as old as you guys, but
whoa!
Thanks
Shot across the bow.
Well, you know, I know how this is gonna go, so could be anything. Yeah, just
Give him that fuck and spit on that thing.
Spit on that thing.
I tell you, that's almost like the "How about that? Catch me outside."
Catch me outside or Jersey Shore. Yeah. So actually, we came up with our hot toy sex spray.
Okay.
So if you're interested, we can sell you a bottle. It's great, folks. Right here, Hot Toy, our sex spray for any time you're lonely at night.
Spit on that thing.
But anyways,
Spit on it. You know.
that girl is gonna be either an absolute legend, or she's gonna go down in flames. We'll find her floating in a river because she can't handle all the guys chasing her.
Oh yeah, she's, you know, I mean, That's the stuff nowadays that makes you go famous. Unfortunately, it's weird little things like that. I mean,
Fame is a double-edged sword, depending on
Yeah.
what it is.
you know, that's why I'm on here tonight. You know, you never know about this. It could go viral.
Viral.
Go viral. We
It's
say
like your
we say
pants.
some stuff,
Viral.
You know. Yeah, so.
So back
So-
to your race car.
Yes.
Oh
Talk
yeah,
about
you
that.
know we started racing back when I was like 15 and on and off here and there. You know, did it pretty much on my own. I haven't, you know, I didn't have the you know
Sponsorship, big money.
sponsorship, big money parents. You know, it's tough, but you know it's a love and a passion of mine that I've had forever, and I mean it's definitely something that can humble you real quick. And you know, past 4 years we've been pretty consistent winning a race last year, and you know running decent, and we're running Fonda this year, and been really fast. We're fourth in points. It's a good thing, you know what I mean. It's a lot of hard work, but a lot of sacrifice because nobody
Yeah.
sees me, you know.
Yeah.
The
Jason
ghost.
can elaborate more on that.
The ghost.
But you know, it's however long I got left doing it, you know what I mean. I want to do it right and have fun with it. So I got goals, and you know, I thank everybody that's helped me out, including yourself. You know, I appreciate your support that you given me the past 4 years with it, and you know, going down to Charlotte.
Has it been that long? 4 years?
Yeah, this is year 4.
Jeez.
Year 4. You know, going down to Charlotte, some road trips. You know, I love driving long distance.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, if we
great.
can keep tires on a trailer.
Yeah, I know. Ooh,
Fuck.
Yeah, mine and other people's.
Jesus Christ.
No.
Every time we've gone to Charlotte, every single time, we've lost a tire or an axle on a trailer.
I remember last time you guys went down there, you guys lost a trailer on the side of the road, and
So the first time we went down, we lost a tire on the way out.
You know,
okay.
We ended up
Harrisburg.
luckily for a friend of ours, Jeremy Connors, he somehow I don't know how he conjured up an axle in the middle of nowhere, but here we were on in a
Loves-
truck stock parking lot.
They didn't want to give us any tools.
No,
do
no, they
anything,
were nasty
you know.
actually.
They were nasty, but the Quakers.
They came through with the horses.
Quakers came through, you know what I mean?
And we chose, thanks to another colleague, we swapped out the axle in the parking lot and made that back down to Charlotte. And then the second time we went, fucking lost a tire, hub, and bearing assembly going down the highway, and didn't even know we lost it. So we hit
Allentown,
Jersey.
Pennsylvania. Allentown.
Yeah, and we ended up pulling over in Jersey.
Yup.
the things
So-
memories are made
So
of.
who the fuck knows where that tire went? It could have flew off and killed somebody. We just kept right on going.
Fuck it.
Ah, you know,
Well-
they've been looking for you guys.
There we go.
Run it.
Cat's out of the bag.
Yup. You know, I
And then, didn't you just spin an axle or have a problem with an axle?
Oh yeah, you know, I was driving the trailer back that night. I think it's because I have to be in the truck that it happens. So we wound up
Coming from Fonda, right?
coming home from Fonda, and we trucking along, and I didn't even know I had a flat until I got to the firehouse parking lot, and I'm like, oh yeah, well, go figure. You know, I
That's
wish
the
it
sto-
would have
that's
been
the story.
that. You know, it's just like trailers are
It's the ongoing
my
thing.
nemesis. You know, but yeah, other than that, it's been a good solid year so far, with everything that's going on, and you know the change with jobs and going up to Fonda this year instead of running Malta, but you know we'll be back there.
Little
in a few
foreshadow
weeks.
there.
Yeah, a little foreshadow, eh?
Speaking of that,
Yeah.
what is Waltero's take on the unfortunate, untimely demise of the Albany Saratoga Speedway?
All right. I don't think it's a fully done deal yet. From what I've been hearing, you know, unfortunately, it's a situation where a person owns a property. It's their property. We're all in this country to do with what we want with our property. Unfortunately, big business and things just don't add up to it. It sucks. It's really bad for racing
Yeah.
in our area. I mean, that is the most premier track in our area. It's one of the top car counts in this country. It's packed every week.
Yeah, we had Phil Barrett here last week, and he was rattling off some of the stats, and
Yeah.
it was pretty impressive for a small local track on how much they packed in there with
Yeah.
car numbers, with stands and fans and spectators, and
I mean, hey, you look at it, and I'm not knocking other speedways or their locations or their demographics, but you go there and you have, a pretty affluent base of people that spend money. It's good for your marketing partners and your sponsors and the community to have that affordable entertainment too. I mean, you can go with a family of four, spend $100 and have 5-6 hours of entertainment. Where can you find that anymore?
Yeah.
And it's not scripted entertainment. It's not like anything. I mean, you go to even if you go to a ECHL Thunder game, you're still spending, a lot more than $100.
yeah,
Family
for four,
of
yeah,
four
sure.
for
Plus, you don't get the great fries.
a step above beer league hockey.
They have the best fries there.
They do, and it's great food. It's affordable. Unfortunately, I'm hoping it doesn't go away. I love it there. It's great, 15 minutes from home, but it is what it is. It's always been a point of contention up there.
Yeah, I feel like this has been coming up every 5 or 6 years. That comes up.
Yeah, and you know what, Lo? There's one thing that scares those people up there more than anything is the term affordable housing.
Yeah,
You know what I
700
mean?
units, no less.
And and it's not zoned. There's a long ways to
So listen to this. So we were, like I said, Phil Barrett was here. There's one of the only properties, what is it, in Sevier County, you said, that has no zoning attached to it. It has zero zoning.
Yep.
It predates all zoning.
Yeah. I mean, you look at
Wouldn't you want that property? It's like a carte blanche.
yeah, but I mean, you're gonna also have probably some environmental concerns.
Oh, they're just
They've been racing there since 65 years 60 years next year.
yeah, 60 years.
Richard Petty race there. Ned Jarrett. They've had a historic amount of people there. It's a landmark. And I hope it stays. I hope from some of the things I hear that somebody comes in and wants to keep it a racetrack. But I think that big business is kind of like pushing this along. But people who live next to it and bought a house next to a racetrack that's been there for 60 years, I think that they should probably look at the fact that right now you have one night a week.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's a hard close
4
at
or 5
11.
months.
Yeah.
4 or 5 months of the year. What are you going to get when you have that? You're going to get riffraff. You're going to get crime. You're going to uptick on traffic. They're from what I read, they were going to put a brewery in there, so you're going to have drunk people. Well, you do anyways, but I mean,
I don't know if that's a hindrance.
But anyways, you're going to have it all 365. It's always going to be going on. It's always going to be something. And honestly, why does I worked in Malta for 10 years, right up at a dealership up there, and you know what? I think there's empty places. There's things that are approved that aren't built yet. Why do we just want more empty buildings?
Because the municipalities want the tax revenue.
Right, but when they fail, they don't get a tax revenue, right?
Preaching to the choir.
I'm sure the track is a good tax revenue basis for them, but we'll see what happens. I hope it stays. I hope we can continue to race there for years to come. And
Now, have you ever raced there yourself?
Yeah, I raced there for the past 3 years.
Okay.
We picked up our first feature win there, so I mean it's got a special place to me.
Oh, sure.
Was going there
As a matter of fact, weren't we in Watkins Glen the time you raced and won?
The week before, I gave you guys a big shout out to the.
We were at Watkins Glen,
Yeah,
were we not?
the week before,
Yeah.
and I actually.
I think you were at Watkins Glen when he did that.
I screwed myself that night. I won the following week because I wound up getting into something, and I wound up finishing third, and it didn't.
So
play out in my
I remember the
favor.
shout out.
Yeah, we gave you the shout out the week prior, and then the next week we went and got the job done. So and Lyle Lavore, one of the best promoters in the country. He, I'm hoping everything works out for him as well because he's done a hell of a job at keeping that place going for the past 10 years or so.
He's not a young chicken.
No, he's not young, but I mean he's a fighter, and he definitely is doing the best he can with what's dealt with, and I just wish we'd get a little bit more from the ownership of the speedway, and to kind of let us know where the direction's going, because we all got to make plans.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's what we were talking last week. Is that if you take Albany Cedric Speedway out of here, you've got an hour drive in every direction to the closest speedway.
Yeah, but you're going to Fonda, like myself, and I love Fonda.
Devil's Bowl or Lebanon Valley.
Devil's Bowl's a couple hours. Lebanon Valley's 45 minutes. I see myself staying with the plan I made this year, staying over at Fonda. I mean, Brett Deo's done a fantastic job of promoting Northeast racing. He's also done a great job with bringing the forefront, flow racing, and bringing out all those, they have over 21,000 viewers every Saturday night nationally on Flow. Yeah. And when they have their big shows like Port Royal or Fonda 200 weekend, they're in the 75,000 range. I mean, that's gold to what we do, because we can pitch that to a company to say, hey, they might not know nothing about racing, they might not know it, but they know that there's 21,000 people that are watching that night. So, it's just it's a great atmosphere there. I love it. I ran there many years prior to this, and it's we'll keep going in that direction. Malta is their last year next year. I'll definitely be there to support that place while it's still around. We'll figure a way to do 2 nights again.
Yeah. Speaking of racing, your NASCAR update, Mike. You're a big NASCAR
Mike's
guy.
got the NASCAR update.
Yeah. Well, he's been out of the loop a little bit, but
Been out of the loop, doing a lot of other things, but it's been a pretty good races the past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Catch any of it this past weekend yourself?
Yep. It was Father's Day. It was awesome. Got to sit on the couch. Was my guy, Young Money, Kyle Larson.
Yep.
Animal.
He's an animal.
Oh.
Thought he had that one going good, and unfortunately it didn't work out that way for him. But man, what a talent that guy is.
Oh yeah.
Anything with wheels, that guy will race.
Indy 500, he was running 5th. Never been in a car.
Yeah. If you think about it, Kyle Larson is what's his face of 20 years ago?
Mario Andretti. Well, he's the Tony Stewart.
I think he's Eminem guy. Jeez, I can't think. Kyle Busch. He's a Kyle Busch of 20 years ago.
Well, I don't think Kyle Busch can race on anything.
Yeah, but
Tony Stewart
good.
race on anything.
Yeah.
USAC sprint cars, IndyCar. Now he's running dragsters and winning in those too. So Tony Stewart can drive, and I've been able to watch him live in person on the dirt car. First time in a big block modified, Lebanon Valley, wins. Like Kyle Larson, first time in a late model, goes out, wins. Yeah.
He can drive anything.
Anything. Yeah, he's racing this week. He's got Hugh sets with the World Outlaws for 4 nights. So he's going to be bouncing.
He's raced open wheel for a long time though.
Sprint cars. Yeah. But there's $250,000 to win.
Hopefully he won't kill somebody.
No.
You got to bring it down.
Jesus Christ. You gotta make
keeping it real, boys. Keeping it real.
You don't smoke weed and race cars at the same time either, and get out of it and not expect something to happen.
Yeah. Well.
So
True that.
You might want to edit that one out, because I don't.
There's no way to hear it, pal.
No.
Raw.
It's raw.
It's like our girl.
Yeah.
I give him that huck and spit on that thing.
Yeah. You missed the best part though at that.
Well, that giggle at the end.
The end. It's just like, you know what I mean.
Wow, you've been listening to that thing a lot.
All day.
I think everybody has it.
Yeah. But NASCAR wise, Iowa was I love seeing that.
Yeah.
That was they repaved the turns.
Yeah.
And going into it, they were like, oh, this isn't going to work. This is going to be bad racing. And I tell you, they got enough character in the track. Everything was good. Side by side racing, it worked in. But the best thing was the grandstands were packed. Yeah. It was packed for an ARCA race on Friday night. Go to that market. That market's where it needs to be. Oh, Jay's getting
Being yelled at here. Jesus Christ, Jay.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So yeah.
You're like a magnet. You're being drawn over there.
New Hampshire this week.
Yeah, Connor's in
I know.
New Hampshire.
Connor's.
We were trying to get him on here to do a live feed, but again,
bugs to work out.
audio for some reason seems to be a bane of ours, and we just can't seem to get past audio.
You'll
But it,
stays at the races. Stays at the races.
it'll
Got
get
the
there.
stories.
Yeah,
You know.
maybe that was by design.
Okay.
Maybe that was by design. Connors, you fucker.
I mean, it must be nice to
Well,
go
the
up there
shirts
on a
were
Monday.
coming off, weren't they?
What's that?
The shirts were coming off.
Let's not talk about that because that was awfully uncomfortable. I have to say,
Just a little bit.
Where is it?
awfully. Oh, there he is. Is he on there? I think I see if you can pull him up there, Jay. I think I saw him hanging out in the green room.
Is that what you're calling it?
The green room. You know where George Costanza was.
Okay.
Jesus.
Yeah, they have. So New Hampshire should be a pretty good weekend up there.
Yep.
You know, I'm gonna go up Sunday because my fine employer of Coggins Auto Group and Toyota give us some tickets. So
Very cool.
Great.
Very cool.
so we'll get to go up there. Unfortunately, don't have the time. We're gonna run Saturday night double features at Fonda. Then we're gonna get up there nice and early and head up and
A lot of
hopefully
travel
watch.
for you this weekend.
Hopefully watch Larson win there. That'd be cool.
Watch them win
You know.
again.
I think that's who Connors said. He said Larson.
Yeah, I mean you can't count him out anywhere because
He
he's
said Bell had a good shot there too.
Bell, Logano.
Logano's your man.
It's a Toyota track. I know Jay don't really like that, but it's a
Every
Toyota.
Toyota to crash.
Toyota Ford track. Chevys aren't there, but you can see, Larson can win anywhere. So
Yeah, never. Elliott is also always
Yep.
in the mix. You know.
Very true. Never
Actually,
really
all the
understood
all the
nightlife
Hendrick
up in
cars,
New Hampshire,
actually.
but I heard it was pretty. The nightlife was pretty good up there.
It's becoming quite the party track.
Well, yeah, they used to have. Remember this old tech of mine back when I first started. You always used to talk about Animal Hill and the things that went on up there.
Wow.
Speaking
Like
of,
a Watkins Glen
I was just gonna say, quite the segue. I was just gonna say the good times at Watkins Glen, man.
Oh, that place is special.
Yes,
Um,
yes. So
Sucks that it moved this year because
for all you guys that don't know, so Walter, Mike, and myself, I have been going to Watkins Glen for about 30 years, probably close to that. Mike's gone a couple times, and Walter, how long have you gone?
I've been 6 times with you.
All right, so we usually set up. I usually get 2 or 3 sites, and we set up a huge party tent with a bar and our slushy machines, and we have a big lounge, and we just party on like it's the end of the
Party
world.
weekend, yeah.
Oh my God!
You don't get to watch the race at all. You just
No, I couldn't tell you who won in the last 6 years. I have no idea. No
Larson.
idea. Although the sad thing is, it's probably the most exciting racing. And if you listen to it on the radio, it's even more exciting on the radio.
Yeah.
MRN Radio does an excellent job calling that.
That track is
You never know who's gonna win.
You don't, and you can make moves. It's fast. It's a fast track, and that first year we went and we got to meet Craig there.
Yeah.
And we went all over the place. I mean,
Oh my God! Next thing you know, we were in freaking rigs and haulers and VIP seats, and we're like, "Should we really be here? Act like you belong." I kept
yeah,
saying.
that's what you mean. Like, I don't know about this.
I saw one time we were driving. We had the golf cart, and we were driving. I'm like, "Fuck it, we're gonna go through the paddocks." This one here is like freaking out. We can't be here. We can't. I'm like, act like you belong. Next thing he's like, holy shit, that's Winter Circle. We were right next to Winter Circle with the golf carts, and we were driving in the freaking hallway area. He's like, holy shit, that's Kyle. Whoever, I forget who we saw, but
The kids were hanging out. They got Jimmy Johnson's autograph.
Kyle Busch's kids were hanging out with
running
Samantha and
Scooter.
yeah,
And they were all going through the thing, and
it was pretty cool. And again,
signed their helmets. Remember, they came back with a whole bunch of stuff.
act like you belong. That's the key. That's the key. As a matter of fact, funny. That same weekend, I remember Dave Blaney's grandfather shows up in a golf cart. He goes, "Are you, excuse me, are you Cameron and Benny's father?" I'm like, "Oh, Jesus Christ."
I normally know what that
Yeah,
means.
yes, that's me. He's like, "I just want to tell you, it was really refreshing for my grandson to hang out with kids that weren't racetrack affiliated. He felt like a kid. He had a great time. Your kids were real polite and great." And I was like, Yes,
There you
yes,
go.
it was. Little
Look at
proud
that
dad,
team.
little proud dad moment there. But
Proud dad moment. Then the night before, they're in there shooting off confetti cannons.
Oh,
Freaking
God.
woman's
so
camper.
there's a lady,
Shelley.
Shelly, and these two other ladies that go there, and
They own Dunkin' Donuts
Yeah.
or something, I think, was what it was.
depending on what they've had to drink, they're either nice or they're mean. And they kept that one night. They kept picking on Jaron, Benjamin, and Cameron. And somebody, I don't know who, I think one of the Geico reps gave them this confetti cannon. It was like this
Just one
big.
of them. There were 3.
Was there 3?
Yes, 3 fully loaded.
Full of like glitter and confetti and streamers. And in the middle of the night, they opened the door to their RV and boom, 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 3 confetti cannons everywhere inside their freaking trailer.
They didn't.
Oh.
They were out doing
The partying and
party.
everything else.
What's our thing we're using here on the thing? You
The-
gotta. They're doing the.
They give him that hawk
Whoa.
and spit on
They
that
went in
thing.
Hawk Tuah, their camper. So they
Oh
were
my
out
God!
doing
The
it.
next day, she knew right exactly who it was to.
She came right.
She
here.
came right to our site, and she was like, "Ah, rah, rah, rah." The next thing you know, she was laughing and thought it was pretty funny. So I got to give her credit. She came around and thought it was great, but
Oh boy.
you
There's
know,
nothing better than NASCAR camping right
No.
now. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the experience, you know. I mean, you can watch it on TV, but even when you go, like, you always hit that pole, like, I love racing and everything like that, but, you know, that place has got, you know, it's more than a race. It's a
Oh, yeah.
experience.
it is an
It's a
experience.
social
Yeah.
experiment.
And,
basically.
and I've always said, if
Well,
even if you
everyone
don't like
likes
racing, go to Watkins Glen for the party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, mind you, I don't know what this year's going to be like, but basing it on previous years, it was always so much fun. So our campsite, and you know this, our campsite 3 over from us, it was called Pole Position. They said they had like 4 campsites all together, and they set up this huge tent, and they probably have a bar that at any given time has what?
500 people.
Yeah, 100 to 500 based on the time.
Friday nights, forget
Drinks
about
are flowing, shots. They have girls dancing, a DJ. They have shot girls. It's just pandemonium and out of control. It is so much fun. And then you never know what you're going to see. What's the weirdest thing you ever saw at the Glen?
Weirdest thing. Well, they were telling me all about it and building it up, and I was like, oh, it can't be that crazy. And we're sitting there. What was it, Friday? I think it was Thursday or Friday night. We're sitting there having a drink, and then the Teletubbies come up the road.
I remember that.
Come up the road, pushing each other, giggling, drinking. And I was like, that's crazy. And a couple minutes later,
Here comes
Cleopatra and Mark Anthony come walking along.
Jesus.
And then a golf cart with a stripper pole on it. And the girl's
Jesus.
spinning around on that, and she gets off, and she's trying to get drinks from everybody.
What about
Yeah.
the boob
Oh, my
size
God.
meter?
The boobo meter.
Oh,
The
then
boobo meter.
Was that Dover or was that Watkins?
Watkins Glen. The boobo meter.
Probably is at
Yeah.
multiple racetracks.
Yeah, there was also. I remember one of the campsites. They had St. Pauli girl. They had the big cardboard cutout of the St. Pauli girl, beer girl, but the boobs were etched out, and the shoulder was there, so the girl's head would be on the top, and then her boobs would go in the holes, and it'd be like St. Pauli girls, and these girls did it all the time. It's crazy. It's a whole lot of fun. I remember one of the craziest things I ever saw, and my wife Gina would I mean, she thought it was the funniest thing. Obviously, there was a bus that was parked next to us. I'm going back long before I was even where I'm at now, and there was an old style school bus, and they had this slide on it. This guy, totally naked, comes down this freaking slide into this kid's pool and takes off running across the whole campground, streaking. Gina's like, what the hell's going on here? It was the funniest shit to see. He's like, ah, running without anything on. Oh my God, crazy.
Yeah, the people you meet at those, you can, it's the same thing with like Super Dirt Week for me. It's like you meet people that you see that once a year. But,
Yeah.
you
Mac with a big beard and puts over his face.
those people that you meet there, they turn into lifelong friends. You might not see them but once a year.
Once a year.
Talk all year, but 2 weeks before the Glen's coming or 2 weeks before Dirt
Some of the
Week,
texts
hey,
start coming. Yeah, you're going.
hey,
Yeah.
what are you doing? You got the same plans and same sites, and it's a good community.
Yeah,
And
and what's nice is you can feel safe to leave your kids.
Yep.
go play and your stuff to not be taken. Everybody looks out for each other. If you're hungry, somebody will feed you. If you're thirsty, somebody will give you something to drink. And I'll tell you, I'm going back a couple of years, but I always brought a couch with us. We always had some kind of furniture, and I remember a couple of years in a row, we'd set up our big living room on our site, and we always had
lamp.
yeah, and have random people in the middle of the night would crash on our couch, and you wake up in the morning, there's some random person or couple or girl or guy or both or whatever just passed out, sleeping on the couches or on the floor on the carpet or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And then you meet people like Craig when they come.
Yeah.
You know, if it wasn't for us running into him that night, the whole Mike Harmon racing thing would have never happened.
We wouldn't have met Mike
We
Harmon.
wouldn't have met Mike.
Jeremy.
Is that the mechanic?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know what he was. Maybe chief cook and bottle washer or
Yeah,
whatever.
I
But yeah.
think he was-
So funny story.
Who
So
knows?
we're hanging out, just at the bar that we had made, and we're just enjoying ourselves, chatting with people. And here comes this guy who looks like the weight of the world was on his shoulders. He was like mumbling to himself, unhappy, just having a really bad night. So I'm like, hey, friend, come on over, come sit down with us. He goes, really? I'm like, yeah. Here's a beer, enjoy, chit chat, and we started talking. And he opened up, became a freaking wealth of knowledge with NASCAR. I think.
How the money game works.
Yeah, I mean, Walter was in his glory, and my eyes glassed over. I could care less about that stuff. But, and then next thing you know, we jumped in the golf cart.
We're in the
Did we have the
hospitality.
Did we have the golf cart, or did we
Yeah,
walk?
it was the one we cut the roof off of to make it fit.
Anyway, we took off in the golf cart. We drive through the paddocks. We're in these
We had
VIP.
We had like light streamers hanging off the back of
With
it.
the dirt flag that somebody gave us.
Yup.
Yeah. And next thing you know, we're in these VIP like tractor trailers that have like huge kitchens in them, and
He was doing setups.
he was and we're like, should we be in here? He goes, fuck it, who cares? And we're like walking through VIP tents and motorhomes, and we're like, holy fuck.
Hammered.
I mean, yeah, we were
Really hammered.
freaking crazy
Right.
drunk, but
2
yeah,
years later, he calls us up and
no, the next year.
it was a couple. It was like 2
Think
years.
so?
Yeah, it was like 2 years.
Little fuzzy.
He calls up because he got us singing. He's like, hey, he goes, I want to take care of you and Jason, and I want to make sure that you guys are going to get. I want to give you garage passes. So I mean that for me was like a check off my.
And I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
He's like, okay, whatever. I'm in there anyways because I just act like I belong, But to get Jaron in there and to do that weekend, that was pretty cool. And eventually got to be a spotter,
Yeah.
with them for a couple races there. That was cool. And that's just all meeting those people,
Yeah.
You
never know what else.
You never know, And we had that one guy that was like them. He owned a car. He was driving around in a freaking Lamborghini.
Oh yeah, were you there for that one? Or the guy, this
think so.
Fabio-looking
No,
guy.
he wasn't there. That's the year I slept in my race trailer.
Yeah.
And I brought out.
And so it was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Connors was with us, and who else was with us? Dave Pingelski
Yep.
and
And then you had
a couple, and his crew and our crew. Anyways, so we're drinking, and the party's kind of winding down, but thankfully I have a CPAP so I can keep the generator going. So all our music and slush machine is on at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and this freaking was it white Lamborghini, whatever color, Jeremy would
whatever
know,
it was.
pulls up. I mean, $500,000 car pulls in, and this guy comes out with his bodyguard. And next thing you know, hey, what's going on here? What are you guys drinking? We're drinking shots, and oh my god, for like till 4 o'clock in the morning, we're hanging out drinking with this guy. Come to find out, he's a race team owner, big money. He has a trucking outfit out of Florida, maybe.
Yeah.
And just hanging out with us, just drinking and having a grand old time. Well, Jeremy, who's a lot more into the know of the NASCAR, he still talks to him all the time and hangs out with him, and yeah, pretty cool stuff. What's the weirdest thing you ever saw at the Glen?
Oh boy, I mean, a lot of things. I don't know. I don't know whether it's weird. I just rather consider it normal.
Because you've seen it so many times.
Because it's like
It would be weird.
like
if it wasn't weird.
I like the costume night. In the sky.
Mariachi bands.
Somebody comes walking around. All of a sudden, you get the stormtroopers
Yes.
coming
That-
down.
so well, the funniest thing you'll hear.
Pope and a priest with holding a baby boy.
Yeah, you'll hear. you look on, I call it Lunatic Alley, which is Richardson Boulevard, and next thing you know, there's Darth Vader with a lightsaber and like 6 to 8 stormtroopers behind him walking in formation. Just weird as
Like
shit.
that. And there's people,
you know?
people just they're just out having a good time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
Well, the guy that chopped his finger off in the middle of the night,
I don't-
chopping wood.
Oh.
Yeah, right behind our campsite, he was chopping wood at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and he
Drunk, obviously.
chopped his fucking finger off.
think you're
Ambulance
so-
had to
so-
come and get him, and that was his weekend. But yeah, chopped his finger off.
Oh.
That's crazy.
Yeah, imagine that. And we missed it. God damn it,
I don't want to be part of that.
we missed it.
I'm
It
not
sucked.
about the blood and gore. I can't do that.
Yeah, it's like a train wreck. You gotta
It's-
watch it.
It's just an amazing time. I mean, it's second to none. You know, it sucks. It's not. It's normal time because I could be able to make it, but
The coolest experience I had at the Glen for me, we had this going back to mid '90s, and
shit.
we had our living room set up, and we always made like a huge bowl of vodka or rum soaked fresh Bing cherries, not the Marinacci cherries, but the fresh ones. And we're sitting there hanging out, drinking the cherry juice and the cherries, and we hear, at the time you never heard a golf cart, you hear bah, and it stops right in front of our site. I look up over the couch and look over, and there's Jimmy Spencer and Ricky Rudd,
No.
and we're like,
Hall of Famer now, Rick.
what the
Rudd.
fuck?
Hall of Fame.
And he gets up, he goes, what are you guys doing? He gets off his golf cart, comes right into our campsite, sits on our couches, and starts chit-chatting with us like we're sitting here. What are those things? We're like, oh, they're vodka soaked. Doesn't Jimmy Spencer?
Yep.
Boy, those are pretty good. You know, it was, to me, that, for me anyways, that was like the golden years of NASCAR, where you still had a lot of access to the drivers. The drivers were not in these ivory towers and ferried in and out by helicopters and private jets. You know, I remember going to Corning, where they used to have Street of Thunder, I think it was called, where all the NASCARs used to put all their cars in Corning, and you used to meet all the drivers. And Dale Earnhardt was at a table signing autographs. I think it was a year right after he won the 500, maybe.
Maybe not 99.
Yeah, something like that. And it was hot as fucking balls that day.
Hot as
And
balls today.
and this lady was standing in line, and the line was probably 500 or 600 feet long. It was a lot of people, and she fainted. Lady fainted, and obviously the whole crowd. Oh my God! Dale Earnhardt gets up, and he runs over. He goes, "Oh my God!" He helps her up, and he goes, "Come sit underneath our tent," da 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 da. And he asks her. I mean, the only reason why I know this because obviously the news reporter was there and they filmed it. But he asked her, "What are you doing in this heat?" He goes, my husband's working, and he's a huge fan. I really was trying to get your autograph, to give to him." He took his 500 winning jacket off, signed it, gave it to her. She sat there the whole entire time he was signing autographs, and nicest guy you would ever meet in your whole entire life, with with gargoyles sitting on his face. That's what to me that's what built NASCAR to what it is, and it's not the way the drivers are today.
Yeah. Except for one guy, Kyle Larson. That guy will sit there at every dirt race.
They give him that hawk too and spit on that
Figure,
thing.
right? But what I'm saying is,
Yeah, spitting on that thing there, Walter. Oh,
but-
Kyle Larson, toy.
well, he's not like Denny Hamlin, but he'll go to those races, those dirt races. He'll be
Well,
accessible.
there's always
He
exceptions.
Sits
to the
there
rule,
and
yeah.
signs every single person's stuff. He never lets it go. Like pit area will be empty, people will be leaving. Dobie have a line. He stays.
Michael Waltrip's like that.
Yes.
Michael Waltrip's
But
like
he's the old school.
Yeah.
He's the old.
He
school.
knew what it was
knows.
like not to have fans.
Yep.
To go to a track and you're sitting
Even
signing
to this day,
autographs and
Richard Petty.
nobody was there. Yeah.
Richard Petty will sign anything you want, and he'll do it all the time if he's in that
Yeah.
area.
I remember we were at. Again, a lot of my stories are from the Glen because that's where I went all the
Well,
time.
in 97,
Yeah.
my first race at the Glen, technically, because I won tickets from a Hannaford in Wyanskill, New York.
No shit.
And it was Ricky Rudd's Tide car that was sitting out there.
Yep.
And that's how I got to go with my dad to.
That's just after Michael
Mine.
Daryl Waltrip would have been tied. So much
Yep.
just after the takeover.
Yeah, it was so Ricky Rudd was doing that stuff, and we got a thing. I got to meet Sterling Marlin. They had them all at their
The
Bill
killer.
Elliott, all those things. I'm like,
The killer, Sterling Marlin.
yeah, but all those guys, they were all there. You were right.
Yeah, they were
They
accessible.
at their trailers, signing their autographs. You know what I mean?
So
They
we
didn't need a
were-
wristband or anything.
We had gone to get Michael Waltrip's autograph at one of the haulers, and then we stood in line for Dale Jarrett's, and just after the lines were unbelievable, but just after Gina got by, they cut the line off, and there was a whole bunch of people behind her, and she said, all of a sudden, Gina, she felt all guilty. Oh, why did they go? So she says to Dale Jarrett, that's not fair. He goes, what do you mean? She goes, Michael Waltrip's signing everybody's autographs. He's not cutting off any lines. So Dale Jarrett goes, well, I'm not going to let Michael Waltrip throw me off. Open that line back up. Let's keep signing autographs. But that's the way these guys were back then. It's not like today where everything is coupons and wristbands and,
Money.
it's
all about money.
Yeah.
And
they're making more money than they ever did compared to like the 90s, I would say.
the 90s were in the late 90s and the 2000s.
That's when
coming
big
up.
money started coming
That's
in.
when big money started
Yeah.
coming in. When Dale Earnhardt was still in that big money era, but a lot of guys now it's what can you bring? So like technically you go to drive one of these cars and you're paying to race the car, but then they're paying you. It's really like a weird thing.
Oh yeah, we heard a lot of that through Mike Harmon racing.
Yeah,
is
like,
that drivers bring their own.
I can
they
go
pay
out
to drive.
if I want
Yeah.
I want to if I want to go run a ARCA race with no experience whatsoever.
And you had 50
I come up
grand.
with- not even.
I'm just
A
saying.
ARCA race is like $7,000 you bring to the table. You can go run one of those cars.
Is that crazy?
It's nuts. You got to bring, more money for Xfinity and stuff, but
Seems like.
millions for Sprint Cup. Sprint Cup.
Hey, now you're dating
Yeah,
yourself.
for the Cup Series, there's no talent base anymore. Like Larson is one of the only ones. Hawk Tuah.
Jesus Christ. He's,
that
he's
that
like
came
enamored
up-
with this
he-
guy.
But he came up and Rick Hendrick. Well, how much money can you bring? Joe Gibbs. How much
Well,
money you can bring?
To that
Chip
point,
Ganassi goes-
the sponsors follow drivers.
They do.
Okay.
Kyle Larson didn't have that.
Yeah.
So, but when he went to Chip Ganassi was like, I'm going to sign you. You don't have to bring nothing. He marketed him. He brought him up. Now he's in, look at Hendrick. Nope. Who's going to take a shot at him in today's
Hendrick.
climate with what happened with that whole, saying that happened during iRacing.
Which is
privacy of your
stupid.
own home.
The guy's in his house playing a video game, talking with friends, and he drops the N word.
Yeah.
And then somebody reports it, and he loses everything. Dumb.
Loses everything, goes back out on the road in his motor coach and puts on one of the best sprint car clinics that you've ever seen. And then Hendrick Cars. Hendrick Cars, he doesn't have any other sponsors, but Hendrick Cars and Valvoline. But how much has Hendrick Cars grown over Kyle Larson? He was like the perfect story to come back from that. And then to just come out. And he just, you know what? He apologized. He said what he had to do. And then he freaking pretty much dropped his dick on the table and said, I'm going to win everything.
Yeah.
And he's still doing it.
What isn't Bubba Wallace and Kyle Larson have the feud going on?
They had a little bit of a feud. They're not
Yeah.
really feuding. Really, there's no different level to Kyle Larson and Bubba Wallace.
Of all the people to be feuding with.
I don't.
I haven't seen that in a couple of years.
No.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, he got in a fight in Las Vegas. There, he wrecked him, and then Bubba whooped his.
Got out of his
ass.
car, left
Really?
the track, and walked over and.
And just started fighting on the front stretch. It's kind of like Kyle Larson's not gonna win that war. He's a tiny man, But hey, he can drive. But he don't know nothing about cars. Like Dale Jr. said, he probably doesn't know how to change his wife's tire.
Dale Jr. can't even drive a car.
He can go out.
He was the biggest
Wheel.
freaking snob there was when he was driving. So they used to have
Just because of dad.
Well,
his hauler. He would not sign autographs.
Really?
So everybody would be out there signing autographs, and you'd walk up to the Earnhardt hauler, and Gina and I both asked, "Hey, when is Dale Earnhardt coming out and sign autographs?" And they would say, "Oh no, he doesn't sign autographs."
yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
No, he got.
I mean, he got
He got-
humbled quite a bit.
Yeah, he got humbled, but I mean, there's some people that were in Waterford, you know, that know Dale Jr. personally, and
I know what you're talking about.
and say he's an amazing human being. Gives anything to anybody. Very active in charity.
Yeah, but
but the
I don't
thing
think
he
I don't think he
had-
used to be like that.
I don't think he did, but you put yourself now. You all of a sudden get thrusted when his father died,
That's the problem.
right into the middle.
Yeah.
Of that. Like you are like the coming of Jesus at that point.
Because everybody that was a number 3 fan became a number 8 fan.
And you were like, and
I
then you
didn't.
had the family dynamic.
I didn't. Fuck him.
You know, the family dynamic of
I went to Jimmy
everything
Johnson.
and racing for your team that should be yours but isn't. You know, so you go back and forth. I mean, that's gonna be a challenging time in his life. But from what I hear, he's an amazing person. You know, and he'll help anybody else.
Speaking of that, there's somebody else that has that kind of past.
Yeah,
Donald Trump.
absolutely.
Everybody hates him, and yet, anecdotally, everybody loves him.
You know,
Yeah. Well, everybody loved him until he got in politics.
you know, right? He was a Democrat, I do believe.
Yeah, he was.
He hung out with the
He was
Clintons,
a
hung out with the
big- he was a big
Schumers, hung out.
supporter, You know,
Yeah.
the only thing he didn't do was get on that airplane and go to the island.
All right, so I have a serious question.
Okay.
All right, would you guys eat one of Chuck Schumer's cheeseburgers?
I think he might have to cook it a little bit better,
What
a little
the-
bit more.
What a
yeah.
fucking poser! I'm sorry. I mean,
For a
if you're
photo
gonna
op.
do a photo op, I mean, cook the burgers before you put cheese on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you see that?
Really?
Yeah. So
the
here he
father
is standing.
thing.
So the
Wait, are you serious?
yes,
Yeah.
as the
They
story
put, like,
goes,
the raw
no, as the
food down?
story goes, you know, he's always lived in an apartment, and his daughter, who just got married to her wife, they have a house, and they decided to invite Chucky over to her house and have a barbecue, and he cooked lunch or dinner or whatever. So the picture of him in his hangout clothes, and he's got in front of the grill, he's got some cooked Nathan's hot dogs there. You can tell they were cooked. But then he's got like raw, nasty looking hamburger patties. Like they've been sitting out for a couple of days. They had that gray meat to it. And they're not even cooked. They don't even have any freaking lines from the grill. And he's already got cheese on them.
Whoa.
What the
Whoa.
fudge?
Are you sure that it's not the mystery meat?
Doesn't matter. It wasn't
Like the
cooked.
meat that,
You know?
It
you know,
was
like
not
the
cooked at all.
plant-based.
No, those look weird anyways. This was definitely hamburger meat that was
If you want,
not of great quality and definitely not
no.
cooked.
if you want to enjoy meat in a burger, eat a freaking burger.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, don't try to like impose. Well, this is some sausage flavored soy. Like, how you?
Well,
get
no, he definitely had hamburger
just,
meat.
Just going on
but-
that whole rant about
Ugh,
plant-based burgers.
it was just gross looking. I mean, just
Oh, it was
how do you not know how to cook a burger? Come on.
And he had that dumb grin on his face. Yeah, like
All right.
There you go, guys.
There it is. There it is right there. Look at.
there you go.
Look at. I mean, the burgers aren't even cooking. You zoom in on
Oh
that
my God,
picture.
Yeah. Look
It's
at that.
like-
Does he have a spatula in his hand?
Spatula. Spatula. Hello, spatula. Oh, God. Look at
He's
that.
Yeah.
just a regular guy.
Yeah, just a regular guy with his
There's some
Weber.
regular titties right there too. Some good old
Man titties.
flapjacks.
Middies.
Yep.
Oh, we're going to hell. What was it? What was that meme we saw today? Hey, let's start a podcast the next day.
Did you see the
Yeah.
did you see the one where the comedian who plays Trump about the 34 felonies?
No.
Oh, I've got it. And it's hilarious. It's not, he doesn't make fun, but it's like 34 felonies. We're going to go to jail. We're going to go to jail so fast. And he's going on. And he's like, El Chapo, no, 22 counts. That's amateur. You know, like he goes on and on. The comedian is a Trump impersonator.
Okay.
But he's like, this is how Trump will spin it because absolutely everything you throw at him, he just Teflon Don. He gets
Yeah.
stronger every single time, which why they wouldn't figure that out yet is like maybe you just leave the guy alone.
Yeah.
And then maybe he can be his own demise of things. But no, we just got to keep pounding it and he's going to get stronger and stronger and stronger because he stands for what people believe. And you see what they're doing to him right now it doesn't stop them from doing it from any of us, you know.
Oh, exactly.
And that's the scary part. Is like, oh, we're just
You
gonna
don't want to get in their way.
stuff.
Don't want to say what they don't want you to say.
Right. It's a challenge. It's a challenge out there right now. But I think the tide's turning. I think the younger generation seeing what's happening. I mean, if you can't sit here right now and answer me honestly to say you were not better off 4 years ago than you are today.
Well,
There's not one person that can say that. And if you do, you're not. I mean,
Not being
unless if
honest.
you're an illegal alien,
well, the funny thing is I put on our Facebook page,
they're going to live in that affordable housing
you
in
know,
Malta.
anybody that wants to come on the show and articulate how at least a reason to vote for Joe Biden, come on, I'll give you the platform.
Yeah.
Crickets
Crickets.
No.
Crickets.
Anybody that responded to that just
was anti-Trump,
was anti-Trump.
not pro-Biden.
Pro-Biden.
Right.
And tell me what he did that was a positive. No.
And
Nobody even tried.
Camel,
Camel.
Be a camel.
Harris. I mean, really?
So do you think they're gonna off him? No, I'm gonna phrase that. Are they gonna replace him before the convention?
No, the closer it gets, the less likely it's
Don't we
probably
have a
going to
debate?
be.
Don't we have a debate coming up on Friday?
Thursday. Isn't it Thursday?
The 21st,
Thursday?
right?
No,
It's
next
the
Thursday,
19th. I thought it was the 21st.
I believe it's next Thursday.
They gotta pull him pretty quick because that's gonna be.
Well, they're just going to juice him up again like they did for the State of the Union.
Well, I mean, there is a there's a condition on the table that drug test. No,
Yeah.
that's
Well,
isn't that what Trump said? He wants a drug test
Right. So
before the
they
before
gotta
the
drug test him the day before. Okay, drug test him and then shoot him up.
Yeah.
Whenever you're juicing away.
I don't think even him juiced right now is enough.
He is so
I mean,
incoherent.
did you see him in the D-Day thing?
He didn't even know where he was.
He was
It
like
was
there, he
it was
started walking-
sad.
he
Is that
started
the one where he
walking
was
away.
taking a dump on the stage?
And
That's
He
that's
stood there,
everywhere.
He put his butt out and he's like a little kid, like a toddler in the corner
he
taking
was
a dump.
stretching his glutes.
June 27th is the
Oh,
debate.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
they-
still that's
That's
8
next,
days
yeah,
away.
Thursday.
Is that God?
Absolutely not. But I appreciate it.
Jesus. Yeah, I mean, you.
Yeah, because the Italian prime minister actually had to pull him back, and then
Well, how about the fundraiser they had last weekend where he's just started rambling and Obama comes up and grabs him
and
guides
shuffles him
off
away.
guides him right off the stage.
I don't know. There's just some weird things going on there. I can't imagine that people that are supporting him don't see that and say that we got to get
Well, the
somebody
people that are
else.
supporting him don't really support him. They support the agenda.
Well, I don't think people have a clear education on exactly what's going on, and if you don't work, you don't, you know, and you don't have those circumstances to where you're not educated on it. I mean, you can see those men in the street things that Hannah used to do or Waters did on Fox, and you can see them. It's like, oh, who's the president? And there's people that can't answer that question.
How do you not know that?
That's sad, and it all reverts back to our school. Our schooling doesn't do anything.
Sure.
You can attest to this. I mean, nobody learns about the American Revolution anymore. Nobody learns about the fact that Christ, we fought for our freedom over a 3% tax on fucking tea.
Yeah.
On tea. And what are we doing now?
40% tax on properties and paychecks and everything else.
History repeats itself, but the uneducated and the willing to understand where we come from and what we do.
Well, that's
And our
by design.
founding,
That's
it
by
is
design.
by design.
That's by design.
Because we'll spend 20 or 3-4 weeks in school on Jackie Robinson and segregation and all that stuff. We'll spend 3 days on the American Revolution.
Yeah.
Because that's the
If they even
ideology
teach
that
that
wants-
anymore.
Kids today know more about pronouns than they do about the history of our country, which is sickening to me. Well, folks, it has come to that time again where we must say goodbye,
A bit of farewell.
a bit of farewell.
Yes.
Oh, that's so nice.
Is that warm the cockles of your heart?
It was beautiful, Mike.
Oh, okay.
It was
I've
Jesus
practiced that in
Christ.
front of the mirror for weeks.
Walter, I hope you enjoyed this little impromptu podcast that we rope-a-doped you into.
Yeah, it was good. I'd like to come on, probably do a full one, and really, maybe delve into something.
Well, maybe if you get the fuck out of work a little earlier.
Yeah, we're
Quit being such a slave to your job.
Yeah, it's all.
You're such a good employee. Hope they compensate you well.
It's a new adventure.
He's
that
on
I'm
the
in,
spot
but,
now. Look at me. He's like,
Yeah, I don't want to. It's a new adventure, something different. We'll see what happens, but thanks for having me on. Thanks for
was great having
talking
you.
some racing and make sure everybody comes out to Fonda Speedway and checks in out Flow and can support your local racetrack.
Absolutely. And before we do sign off again, we do have our
Hulk Tuah.
sex mister. You know, for those times
Take it in that
when you're
fucking
by yourself
food
at night,
and spit on that thing.
look it up. Until we meet again.